Hey guys, Ron for FunctionBuilt-Aquatics, and I wanted to shoot a quick video around the world in our fish room. Pretty much after I've done almost about 2 hours worth of maintenance this morning. I had to get caught up in a lot of my water changes and some of the other projects that we have going on. And while I'm all complete, I figured it'd be a good opportunity to take some shots of what we have in the room. So I'm going to do a quick pan. That is the one wall pretty much complete. Soon, Nathan and I will be on this wall. The desk will be moved out. I'm going to go with the stainless steel table that I'd like to put actually in the middle of the room. Excuse all the mess on this one side, but this room was being used for storage for a long time before I decided to actually go in here and actually set up a fish room. And on this wall, I'm saving all that space, which is roughly about 12 foot of space, for a rack system that will include, I'm thinking about only 2 or 3 different species. Right now, I'm heavily leaning on going African cichlid, something from Lake Tanganyika, something that can handle my regular hard water with a automatic drip system, and I wouldn't have to actually play with the chemical properties of the water. So that's why I'm actually thinking going towards African. And that fish I'm thinking of is maybe Frontosa. I'm thinking of doing a colony of Frontosa on a 12-foot wall. I'm thinking about going with 75-gallon tanks, 40-gallon breeders, and 300-gallon Rubbermaid tubs down below. So I probably could fit on this wall, since it's 3 foot, I could probably fit 3, maybe 4 Rubbermaid tubs. If I have to actually move this rack out and go 15 foot, I would. And I would put 1, 2, 3, 4 300-gallon tubs, then a row of 75s, and then a row of 40-gallon breeders up top. And that should give me enough water volume to work with a fish that can attain, anywhere from 10 to about probably 10 to about 11 inches in length, full grown. So I don't know a whole lot about Frontosa. I was never really that adverse in African cichlids up until I started making my new YouTube friends, and the majority of my friends are either beta keepers or African cichlid keepers. But like anything else, I'm in no rush. I'll take my time to do my research. I'll make my connections on who to get some adult pairs from, and then I'll also buy some young fish to grow out. Knowing that it takes up to 3 years for them to reach sexual maturity, I'm okay. I'm in no rush. This is not how I intend on making my living full time. But what I would love to do is I would love to build a brand with FunctionBuilt-Aquatics that puts out quality fish, and those fish actually cover the expense of my hobby, so I can continue to do projects like I do without having to lay out of pocket money all the time. These are the wild-caught cardinal tetras. They've been spawning fairly regularly. They are really responding well to a combination of 25 to 30% water change, a feeding of blackworms. I've actually been doing something a little different with the blackworms. This might actually help some of us that are actually concerned about parasites and pathogens that blackworms can pass on. I don't know if metronidazole will do anything for pathogens, but I know metronidazole is a really good medication for parasites. So I've been soaking my blackworms in metronidazole for hours. What I do is the night before is I'll put them in a little tiny container with a lid, and I'll put a scoop of metronidazole in the water. It doesn't kill the worms. Believe it or not, the worms actually have soaked as many as 6 hours, and I haven't lost any of the worms. So they actually maintain their liveliness. But I gotta assume because they're filter feeders that they're absorbing some of the metronidazole, which helps maybe get rid of some of the internal parasites that some of the blackworm sources that we get can actually harbor. Now I could be way off base with this theory, but I'm willing to take any chance I can. I'm willing to take any precaution I can, I should say, not to take any chances with the health of my fish. And I gotta tell you, I've used a lot of different foods. Like I'm a huge fan of microworms for my baby fish, my fry fish, but they're useless for pretty much adult fish. They're good as a snack. But blackworms have really turned these cardinals on. They've really gotten them to spawn. They have spawned already so far. We have 3 different spawning mops in the grow out tank, and I found eggs on every spawning mop after I've done the water change the night before and have fed them heavily on blackworms. That next morning before the lights come on and the pleco gets a chance to eat the eggs, I find the spawning mops actually not loaded, but with a nice amount of eggs in them. Now the fry have actually hatched because the eggs are missing, and I do see some little tiny, I mean cardinal fry are small at the beginning stage. So when I'm able to actually take some good video of them, I will. But right now they're so small, I really can't get it done with this iPhone. I'd probably have to use a really good camera. But to make a long story short, water changes and live feedings of some good quality live worms seem to really turn these cardinals on, and it seems to get them to spawn. I'm trying to do the same down here with my bleeding heart tetras, which I've really beefed up since I moved them in from the outdoor pond. I only have 1 female in this group, the rest are all males. But I haven't seen any spawning activity from them. So in due time, I'm sure we'll get something accomplished with them. This is the South American paludarium. As you can tell maybe from prior videos, I've actually trimmed down the microsaurs, and I trimmed down some of the moss and did a big water change on this system too. I probably went through 40-50 gallons of water today of RO water to get my water changes accomplished. So this is pretty much around the world in our fish room at FunctionBuilt-Aquatics. Thanks for your support. Stay tuned. Plan on doing more, guys. Thanks.